Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top. Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for Live at 5. It's brought to you by our friends at Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary, 855-TRAJAN-1, or visit their website at trajanwealth.com. Ben, we are live. Currently in Vegas right now, the Brooklyn Nets lead the Sacramento Kings 58-34.
Great game.
Is this the worst basketball game ever played?
I mean, the Jazz Bulls game was pretty rough. And I don't mean the finals game where the Jazz scored 54 points. I mean the one where Jazz didn't play any of their summer league players and still one of their two-way guys got hurt.
Ben, Sacramento has 34 points.
Huh? Well, earlier
today...
It's the
third quarter.
Earlier today, you missed it. Let me see if I can get the score here. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Houston Rockets, and the 76ers managed... Or no, the Rockets beat the 76ers 90-64. The 76ers managed 8 points in the first quarter. So this might not even be the worst game today.
You and I, we both have a mutual interest in team building and the way different NBA teams choose to do it. What is Brooklyn doing? Don't they have 15 point guards on their roster?
They do.
I mean, Yegor Dioman, he's going to have a nice summer league. Well, he's got to compete with they drafted 2 rookie point guards last year and another 2 this year?
They drafted 4 rookie point guards last year. They had
4?
5 first-round picks, and 4 of them were point guards that they drafted.
And then this year they picked another one, right?
And then they took, he's playing right now, Michael Brown.
What are they doing?
Yeah, it's a mess. No, so this is pertinent, and this goes back to 2 things. One, a hot take I did not get to, which was, while I said, who is this 3rd and 4th place game for in the World Cup, and we just shouldn't play it, the flip side, the inverse of that, because you called me out on it, which is I always just want more because I'm a dumb person and I just like to watch sports just because there's nothing else going on in my life. But I don't believe anyone's, quote, too good for Summer League. What do you mean you're too good for Summer League? Mm-hmm. If anyone actually believed that, you wouldn't be at Summer League. You know?
Right.
Someone doesn't think you're too good for Summer League. That's why you're there. Someone thinks this guy needs to get a lot better if he wants to make a living. And by the way, I think it's an honor to make a living in the NBA or whatever sport you play professionally. And if you have to go to the Summer League to get there, great. You should go and do it and not really whine about it. However, these are, yes, some truly miserable games, but we were talking to Auville earlier today from Washington. He covers A.J. Dybantsa, Washington Wizards, et cetera, et cetera. And he said he was happy that A.J. Dybantsa was getting shut down because A.J. has already shown enough at Summer League. I get if you were worried about injuries long term, and they can certainly happen, and the more you play, I guess the more prone you are to getting injured because you're actually on the court. But I don't think anyone's too good for Summer League. I want to see them out there. And you know what? If I'm A.J. Dybantsa, I'm so concerned about the horrendous organization I play for that the more I play and the more say I get to have in what's happening, I think the better. Because Washington, Sacramento, who we're watching right now, getting absolutely trounced by Brooklyn, the only thing you've proven is the more you're ingrained in the decision-making, the worse things are going to be. So I don't trust you to do this. In fact, if I think I'm a star, the way A.J. Dybantsa thinks he's a star, and by the way, I think A.J. is a star. I think he's going to be a great NBA player. I want to be out there. I'm gonna start fixing this myself. I'm gonna start changing this culture on the hardwood in the Summer League if I have to, because what you're doing hasn't been good enough for a really, really long time.
Players don't think that way. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but players don't think that way. Why? What is? Because John came on with us and he justified it, shutting down AJ Dybantsa because, I don't know, he covers the Wizards and he's close to it or whatever. Why would the Wizards shut him down? Why would the Jazz say you're done with Summer League to Darren Peterson? Not sit him out on the second night of a back-to-back. Sure. And maybe the Jazz don't play him again. I don't know. I'm not.
And look,
I'm not
AJ does have a
it,
calf thing. He hurt his calf against the Jazz, whatever it is. I think he played after that, though.
If I would want them to play every game to get the experience because they don't have it. Mm-hmm. So it is funny to me the stigma like, above Summer League or done with Summer League or, John said AJ showed everything he needed to show. Well, technically, AJ doesn't need to show anything. He needs to work on his game. He needs the time on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, that sounds like a justification not playing. Like, he's shown everything. What's the point of him being down there?
No, I'm not
it's
trying
not
to
show anything.
I'm not trying to be cornball guy either, to be honest with you. I think sometimes people get so self-serious about this. But, is AJ Michael Jordan? Does he not need to get better? He's done?
Every rookie needs to get better. That's my point.
AJ's done?
Yeah, right.
He's good enough? Great.
Yeah.
No. Darren needs to be out there.
He needs to play. Cody
needs to play right now. Yeah, man. I get it. I get not wanting to play in summer. I was in the Jazz locker room last year, and I won't say the players because I don't think it was a conversation that was necessarily about sharing who the players were. And a couple of the guys I had asked, do you think you're going to be on the summer league team? Do you think you're going to play? And they kind of said, not off the record, but just a natural kind of comfortable conversation. I hope not. I don't really want to spend my July practicing, having to be a part of it when I could be going and hanging out and watching. And I get, at a certain point, you don't want to still be doing Summer League. You feel like you've earned it. You've moved past it. But a lot of the guys who we pretend are too good for Summer League or don't need to be in Summer League are not too good for Summer League, including Darren Peterson or AJ Dybantsa or Cody Williams or Kennedy Chandler or whoever guys are who are, you're 26 years old. I bet it's not that fun to play in the NBA, the Summer League anymore. But if you're not in the league and you're not obviously in the league, you're clearly not good enough to be out of the Summer League right now. So you should probably be there trying to get better. Again, not to be Mamba mentality guy, not to be the cornball while they're sleeping. I'm up doing push-ups or I'm working out. I'm getting up earlier than everybody. I think some of that stuff's really corny. But I do not, by any means, think we've seen enough from any of these rookies. Nor do I think it's actually possible for a rookie to show you enough to not have to play in Summer League in the NBA.
I actually don't. Yeah, I'm the person who doesn't care how they play. I don't read into any of that. But I do think it's important that they play, especially the rookies. Yeah. Now, if you want to send a third-year guy there to send a message and then message received and you let them go about their summer, that's maybe a different story. Mm-hmm. But there's not one rookie that can't benefit from every minute of playing during the Summer League. Quick change of topic, and we can come back to this. But they just showed Zach LaVine on the TV because we're watching the Kings game. What's he doing there? He's just sitting there watching, right? Usually veterans that have a future with the team will make an appearance as kind of like I'm supporting the young players and the rookies and that sort of thing. The Kings have got to be trying to get rid of Zach LaVine as soon as possible, right? Yeah. I mean, he's not going to be on the team long term. They're not building around him. They probably don't want his influence on the young players. Why on earth is Zach LaVine there? Yeah. There's a guy who should be on vacation.
Correct. Living it up.
Go live the dream. Zach, you are on a crazy deal for what, another year?
He just opted into his huge $49 million deal, I think.
You know where I wouldn't be? Not a chance I'd be watching the Kings in Vegas. I'd be like, listen, you guys call me if you trade me before camp.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, nice of him to go and try and pretend he's supporting the team. But they can't wait to get rid of him.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want him around.
No, not at all. So why would he be there?
Why would he be there? Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm with you.
The Kings paid DeMar DeRozan to go away. Now they're trying to get off Zach LaVine, and should, by the way.
Do you believe a player can be good enough to change the culture of a team?
Be more specific.
Do you think Michael Jordan was so good that he by himself was the reason the Bulls stopped being what we don't recognize the Bulls at? Well, actually, we do because the Bulls have been absolutely dreadful since Michael Jordan left.
Uh-huh.
But
Yes.
they were the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings that we are making fun of right now, or the Washington Wizards that we make fun of, are exactly what the Chicago Bulls were before Michael got there in the late 70s and then in the early 80s before Michael got drafted. And Michael was so good that seemingly he changed things, or at least that's the storyline, that he changed things by himself. Can AJ change the Washington Wizards? Can Zach Wilson change the New York Jets? No, I know that Zach Wilson did not.
Not the Jets.
I know that Zach Wilson
Nobody
did
can
not.
fix the Jets. That's just doomed. So let's take them
Okay.
off the. My answer to you is yes. But I where you've got my mind kind of cranking is, does it matter how good you are, or does it just matter that you're the best player? I believe in basketball, and we could talk about other sports. It's probably a little different. But in basketball, you have to fall in line with the best player. So if Michael Jordan is going to be the guy that works so hard and is punching teammates and is super demanding and all this stuff, guess what? Those other teammates have to fall in line, and then you have your culture change, right? Mm-hmm. The best example of it, I think, is Tim Duncan. Is because Tim Duncan was willing to get yelled at by Greg Popovich, that meant everybody had to be yelled at by Greg Popovich. But if Donovan Mitchell doesn't play defense, it gives the rest of the team the excuse not to play defense. Mm-hmm. So does that have to do with they're so good they change it, or could any best player on a basketball team change it? Am I making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
or am I talking in circles in my own head?
I think you're asking the question better than you're asking the same question I am. I think you're doing a better job of it, actually.
Because I bet
it's a little bit the chicken or the egg. Does the organization finally have to make enough changes around the player that the organization is no longer what it once was when Michael Jordan came in? Or was Michael Jordan so good that everything was going to change naturally?
It was going to change naturally because of his gravitas, right? Phil Jackson didn't change the culture of the Bulls. He enabled Michael Jordan to do it. Greg Popovich gets a ton of credit for the culture with the Spurs, but no, Tim Duncan did it.
Correct.
If Karl Malone calls you fat in training camp, you have to do something about it, which he did to Greg Ostertag. Called him fat in training camp, and Tag had to get into shape. But Tag couldn't push back and go, shut your pie hole, Karl.
Correct.
Whereas if Luka Doncic called somebody fat coming into camp, it would have zero credibility. You know, if Walker shows up a little portly and Luka Doncic says, "Hey, you got to come into camp in
fewer
better
beers,
shape,"
my guy.
Yeah, Walker's going to say, "Whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Why don't you do it first?" The reason Michael could demand so much from his teammates is because he did it himself. Michael Jordan was a two-way guy who was always a worker, and he was always a practice player, and he demanded it out of all the teammates. And guess what? You had to fall in line. Even Dennis Rodman had to fall in line because the best player set the tone.
Yeah.
And Michael was way more stable than Scottie. Scottie Pippen, who always wanted to be the number one, would not have set the same tone as Michael Jordan. He was in the same conversation as a player, believe it or not. Scottie Pippen was great, but he would not have set the same tone as Michael Jordan. Kobe set a tone for the Lakers, which I think was more prevalent in his last two titles than it was his first three. But he set a tone with that team. He got a lot out of loose cannon Lamar Odom and loose cannon Andrew Bynum because they didn't have another choice.
Correct.
They had to do it because it was Kobe's opinion that mattered. I've always said that I would absolutely bend over backwards not to ask my star player about personnel moves, because you either have to listen to them or you either have to tell them that they're wrong.
Correct.
Now, when it comes to practice and setting a culture internally, that's where I want the input of my best players.
Yes.
Not
on draft night.
Not on draft night, not during free agency, not at the trade deadline.
Right.
But when it comes to, hey, we need to do this at practice and we need to practice this and I need to set the tone for what I expect from my teammates. Yes, those players can absolutely change the direction of even the worst franchises.
So while I do think the reason AJ is being shut down is he has this calf injury, and they're being extra cautious with it, which I do agree is probably the right thing to do. Losing AJ for a season to a long-term calf strain, which the best indicator that you're going to have future calf strains is prior calf strains, and you're just going to keep getting them. See it all over the NBA right now. If that's the reason they're shutting him down, fine. But to your point, yes, I don't need AJ's thoughts on who the Wizards should draft next year with the 7th overall pick. But I do love if AJ's there at the building at 8 a.m. and everyone else comes in and says, well, he's the second highest paid, I guess third highest paid player on the team next year, and he's obviously the face of the franchise, and he's here. What's my excuse? That's where I do want his value. And where a player I think can change some of the outcome of an organization.
Would the Rockets have been better if James Harden set a better tone?
Yes, no question.
Yeah, it's tough to set the tone that we're going to do whatever it takes to win when you're leaving everybody stranded on the bus because you stayed out all night at the burlesque show.
Yes. Karl Malone is and was a lunatic. Untrustworthy narrator. Maybe just a bad guy. He came back and was a better basketball player every single year of his career.
Yep. Set the tone, and everybody else had to live up to it.
So you had to follow.
Yep.
So when you got a cancer in the locker room, a la Mark Jackson, it didn't work. Actually, that cancer was exposed pretty quickly and run out of town.
So who sets the tone in Washington? Trae Young.
That's a problem.
Yeah, because A.J. Dybantsa is not going to think he has to play any defense.
So I think that goes back to the root of this situation, which is A.J. may be good enough, may have the talent to single-handedly turn around an organization, which has mostly been a disaster. What did we decide for the last 36 years since they last won 50 games?
Oh,
was it 1978?
It was 79, I think. Yeah.
So...
No, but he's not going to be allowed that role. That's my point. He might be the best player on the team today. I kind of doubt it. But he's not going to be given that role in the locker room. He's not going to be given the authority to change a dang thing.
That's where the problem is. It's not if AJ demands now that the bus leaves at 8 a.m., that practice starts early, that it has to start so early guys can't go out the night before. It's that the organization right now, left to its own devices, empowers the wrong things and the wrong people, even if AJ's the right guy to turn it around. Even if he has all the momentum and all the wind at his back and more power than any other player will have in the NBA right now as a number 1 overall pick in a very good draft that everyone believes is going to be a superstar, if the Wizards keep empowering the wrong people around him, it doesn't matter how good AJ is.
Watch, and I brought this up a bunch of times. It's not even that great a documentary, but because they leave a lot out. But watch the Gilbert Arenas Washington Wizards documentary, and it will not be a shock to you that a gun showed up in the locker room. It won't surprise you at all.
Yeah.
The tone that was set when Gilbert Arenas was the best player on the Wizards, it's not shocking that something like that would happen.
Like that?
If Larry Bird were the best player on the team, a gun doesn't show up in the locker room. Or Michael Jordan. Or even Magic Johnson was a gifted leader early in his career. You know, those sort of things don't happen because they're not – it's unspoken that –
I can't remember who I was talking to.
It's going to be a serious place to work.
I was waiting outside of Will Hardy's pregame press conference last season. I don't remember if I was talking to Sarah or if Andy hadn't left yet. If I was talking to Andy, who it was. But Thurl came over. And Thurl came and was just the nicest guy and said hi to everybody. And I said, Thurl, did you ever see a gun in the locker room? And he said, are you crazy?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not, there are probably guns. There are probably more guns in locker rooms than people recognize. People are not waving guns around in locker rooms. That is not happening. Guys might keep it in their car. Guys might have one in their bag. Whatever. They're not waving them around.
No.
You have to be unhinged to get to that point where your locker room has both Javaris Crittenton and Gilbert Arenas in there, both bringing guns and pulling them on one another in a locker room or on a plane. That is a level of insanity that even the best players probably can't fix that culture. And that's what I worry for AJ.
I remember when Jerry Sloan had to step in and be the adult when... What was that incident happened in Portland with
Brewer and Millsap?
Brewer and Darren Williams, I think, was Anyway, I'm not trying to slander anybody, and but the Jazz had to. What did they do? They had to outlaw.
They had to have a curfew.
They had to have a curfew, and I'm trying to remember what else. I think did they take away gambling on the plane? They had to take away cards on the plane or stuff. I mean, that all that stuff internally is set by the players.
Yes.
How you practice, how you perform, what's expected of you on a nightly basis. It's all set by the players. Even right down to you want to fix load management. Honestly, have the star player never miss a game. You wonder why all those Jazz players, were tough right alongside John and Carlos, because that was the expectation that was set. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George collectively missed basically their entire career with the Clippers because that's the expectation that they set.
They set the tone.
They set it.
And everyone followed suit.
And what was particularly bad about that one is the rest of the team would figure out how to play without him, and then they'd step in and say, hey, guess what? It's all about me again. And the rest of the team would be like, what are you talking about, dude? We've been doing this for months. Where you been? You been in Palm Springs or something. This stuff matters more than you would think. And having a best player set the tone internally is absolutely a key to success. What your best player does and how they comport themselves.
Carry themselves, whatever, yeah.
100% matters.
It is overall very good for the station that David James shows up every single day.
Minus coffee in the morning.
Yeah. Right? But DJ has set a culture, and I'm not saying DJ's, the only culture setter here.
No. I get your point.
DJ shows up every day. And so everyone else shows up every day.
Yeah, shows up giving his best.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick too. I mean, it does.
And they've been doing it. They're here longer than anyone else has been here. They've hit their 20-year anniversary several years ago now. Probably at 25 now. Got to be close. And that has been good for everybody.
If PK were still coming in here on bath salts, it'd be a problem.
Correct.
But he got that problem licked.
Correct.
Got that behind him.
Right.
Some zany shows, and then now it's cool. No, I've had, in the 20 whatever years I've worked here, we've gone through several different cultures. I mean, we've been owned by 4 different companies. But I mean, some of the stuff we got away with in the early years, we'd never get away with today. And that's not the culture we've created as a station.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. Because I'd be worried about what Christian was doing on Saturday if it was the way I was when I was coming up.
Right.
Bad news. But Christian's an adult and does a good show.
Correct.
Christian's going to be on remote this week. Did I hear that?
The ballpark at America First
Oh,
Square.
fun.
That's going to be awesome.
Did you go out there for the Christmas party?
I was not able to make it last year. I was tied up. So I actually have not been to the ballpark yet.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm really excited.
It's really cool.
They really did do a great job.
Yeah.
You know what I love about it? There's no line. They've set up their concessions, kind of rethought the concessions or whatever. Not going to stand in line for a dang second.
Great.
All right. Stay tuned and listen to the Saturday show every Saturday, 10 to noon. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I think the engine's stalling out on me.
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Dang, got a lot more miles to go.
Nah, be okay, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll be here with a tow in no time.
Good, because these boots weren't made for walking.
Those riding boots are pretty sweet.
Oh, you like?
Do you think they come in a size 1 inch?
I don't know.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The Open Championship is this week. That means it's time for the Copper Rock Open Championship giveaway. Let's get another qualifier right now. Caller 12-801-575-ZONE. If you're caller 12, we're going to assign you a golfer in the top 25 of the field of the Open Championship. One listener will get the remainder of the field. If your golfer wins, you win a Copper Rock branded polo, an outwear piece, a hat, and a $100 gas gift card. It's all courtesy of our friends at Copper Rock, where the pros play. Brooklyn still leading Kansas City. Not Kansas City, the Kansas City Kings. That's a long time ago. Sacramento, 86-63. Wow, where did that come from?
Brains are a weird thing, man.
When was Sacramento the Kings last in Kansas City? It had to be the early 80s, the late 70s.
Was it that? Yeah, was it even the 80s?
When did the Kings?
I wasn't alive.
From Kansas City. Hold on. 1985.
Okay, yeah, I was not quite.
That
alive.
was actually more recent than I would have thought. Kansas City to Sacramento in 1985. I wonder why Sacramento.
You know what? Bad beat for Kansas City. That's on par with Seattle to Oklahoma City.
Oh, to lose a team to Sacramento?
Yeah, as Kansas City, which at the time the Midwest was flourishing, I would imagine in the United States, to lose a team to Sacramento, which is still not one of the destination towns.
But would Kansas City actually want the Kings? Does anybody want the Kings? Does Sacramento want the Kings?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not.
They did fight hard to keep them and find a new owner, but it turns out the new owner is just as bad as the old ones. It's rough.
As we talked about with the Belichicks.
But you know what?
Sometimes everyone's just
isn't
talking.
Kansas City a bad sports town? I mean, in all honesty, like the Chiefs are a good team and well supported, but the Royals have
mostly been a joke. They have won World Series, but mostly been a joke.
And even the Chiefs ownership group is considered kind of crappy, right?
It's the worst arena in the NFL, I believe.
So, I guess they support the Jayhawks, but I don't know. Maybe they couldn't wait to get out of Kansas City because it's not a great, maybe pro sports town. I don't know. I mean, have you been to Kansas City? I've been a bunch of times. It's great.
Driven through.
It's a fun town, but I don't know. The Royals were good for 10 seconds in the 2011 and 12.
Mm-hmm. They won a World Series and
went to another. Is that right? Does that sound right? And for the rest of us, just been garbage. Mm-hmm. Although George Brett running on and freaking out about the pine tar might be the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that video?
Of course.
So I don't know. Does Kansas City really miss the Kings?
Have the Kings done anything for Sacramento?
Well, I don't know. The cowbell era was kind of cool.
They lit the beam for a season.
No, the beam, that was... You can't come up with a gimmick when you win when you're terrible. The beam is a recent addition.
Yeah, and people like the beam.
They
finished with the third best record in the West, and they got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, and they went immediately back to irrelevancy.
Well, they fired their coach, who just won a championship. And, well, you know what? Sacramento is just a culmination of bad decisions. And even when a rebuilding team tries to turn it around, it's funny, they end up right back where they started. I mean, how many times has Sacramento, do you think, in the last 20 years been like, okay, the rebuild is over, let's go?
6 or 7 times.
And it's never worked?
Which means they've started 6 or 7 new rebuilds in that
period of time. Yeah.
And your rebuild never ends quicker than 3 years. I mean, that just means that's quite literally the perpetual rebuild.
It's the danger of the cycle.
Yeah.
Phoenix was in the perpetual rebuild forever until they found Devin Booker, and then even now they're kind of back to it.
It's been the theme of this show, certainly. We've been joking about the Summer League and a little bit of its unwatchability at times, and A.J. Dybantsa has been shut down now, is not going to play for the Wizards the rest of Summer League, and I'll be curious if we see Darren Peterson or Cody Williams or Ace Bailey. Ace's back thing is certainly contributing to why he's not playing. But, can Caleb Wilson, who's looked very good at times, did not look great against the Jazz, can he turn around the Bulls, which are, outside of Michael Jordan, maybe the worst organization in the NBA? Mm-hmm. And can, the other top picks going to not traditionally great organizations outside of the Jazz, which are one of the steadier organizations in the NBA, though never reach the peak, can those players step in and change the outcome? I don't know.
No.
I kind of don't think so.
I don't. Like, honestly, I don't. We joked about the Jets, but is there any singular? If Tom Brady went to the Jets, would he be considered the GOAT? No, because he never would have won. I don't know. It's funny, but you make a good point about Michael Jordan because Reinsdorf has forever been terrible. I mean, even look at Jerry Krause. He was a baseball guy. He hired his general manager off of his baseball team. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, Krause, I think, was a little better than people remember. But, yeah, horribly run franchise that just got lucky. Yeah, I agree with that.
You look at
Dallas has been terribly run, and they ran into Cooper Flagg. It's going to cover up a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious how much it actually covers up. I really am. Dirk covered up a ton. Dirk and Mark Cuban combined together to overcome all of the nonsense that was Dallas through my childhood. Just a disaster of a program for a decade in the 90s.
But the owner in that case did a good job. At least Mark Cuban did well in the beginning. I would argue that toward the end he was not a very good owner. But that's just my opinion. But in Reinsdorf's case, he's always been terrible.
Are you more likely to change the trajectory of your franchise with a new owner or with a new player?
More likely? Owner.
It's kind of depressing if you're a fan.
How's that?
Well, you can get players. You can win the draft lottery. There's no reason you ever have to lose Jerry Jones as your owner. If Jerry Jones wants to run the Dallas Cowboys into the ground for 30 consecutive years, he gets to. Jerry Reinsdorf is the perfect example of this. He just hates sports, apparently. I'm a White Sox fan. This is like a time they should be going out and trading for pitchers, and they're good. They've got a great offense, got a fun bunch of young players on the roster. They should be trying to win, and I don't trust Jerry Reinsdorf to make those good decisions. But they can get the number 1 overall pick. They just drafted Rock Chalowski with the number 1 overall pick a couple of days ago. They signed Munetaka Murakami out of Japan, and he's an all-star and was in the home run derby last night. They have all these fortunate, good things happening to them on the player front. But because Reinsdorf is such a bozo, it may not matter.
So if you have a good player, you can win with a bad owner. And if you have a good owner, you can not win despite having a good owner. So I'm trying to think through your question, like which is more important or which can be more effective. And I still think owner, and my evidence would be maybe the Utah Mammoth. That if you have an owner willing to invest in the team, you can change your fortunes pretty quickly because of the resources given to the team. Right, the owner of the Coyotes was lacking, to say the least, and the owner of the Coyotes' unwillingness to invest in the team led to a bad ice product. Right, you take basically that entire franchise, move it to Salt Lake, give an owner who cares and who has resources that they're going to pour into it, and they're in the playoffs in 2 years.
If you drop David Pastrnak, 8th best player in the NHL, on the Arizona Coyotes, is that going to have a greater impact on the culture of that team or the future of that team than Morello selling the team to Ryan Smith? The answer is probably not.
No.
You're better off having Ryan Smith buy your team with the same players than dropping the 8th best player on the planet onto the roster.
Yeah, I think so. But Robert Sarver went to the playoffs with the Suns, or went to the finals with the Suns because he had Devin Booker. And Robert Sarver may be, amongst the worst owners to
Bottom
ever
10
exist
owner in the NBA.
in NBA history.
Yeah.
The Clippers are the Clippers because they were owned by Donald Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
But now the Clippers are an interesting case because they have an owner willing to invest resources and they still suck.
Yeah.
It's not just resources. It's what you do, too.
It's clearly, it's not binary. It just can't be one or the other. You probably need to have two things pulling in the right direction.
Yep.
You need to have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and also a really good owner in Oklahoma City, even though I know people don't. It's still Clay Bennett, right? Or did he sell the team?
No, it's still, or is he deceased? I'd have to look into it.
But
no,
have reasonable ownership.
Right.
Reasonable investment. The Spurs, we were talking about Greg Popovich setting culture. Well, really, it was actually Tim Duncan's ability to take it. The Spurs also have really good ownership. Now, you don't know who they are, and that's one of their strengths. No, keep their head down for the most part. That's been smart for them. They didn't need to go out there and try to be Jerry Jones. That wouldn't have benefited them. They've learned how to own the team in that city, and then they got the right players, and that combination, that alchemy, really churned out some gold.
It is Clay Bennett, by the way.
Still Clay.
Still Clay.
Still kicking.
Not popular in Seattle.
No.
I wonder who's less popular in Seattle, Clay Bennett or Howard Schultz? Howard was the one who sold
it. Yeah. Are you more in trouble for stealing the gold or allowing the gold to be stolen?
Starbucks for sure.
You think Howard Schultz is less popular than Clay Bennett?
I would think so.
I would bet on it. Yeah, I would think so too. All right, we'll get to voicemails coming up next. Leave your voicemails. Download the KSL Sports app and record your message for the show. Say, this is for Jake and Ben. We'll get to some coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I think the engine's stalling out on me.
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Dang, got a lot more miles to go.
Nah, be okay, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll be here with a tow in no time.
Good, because these boots weren't made for walking.
Those riding boots are pretty sweet.
Oh, you like?
Do you think they come in a size 1 inch?
I don't know.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got it made, Jake's and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my.
Hey, love listening to Jake and Ben. I loved your guys' Scooby-Doo imitation today. You were talking about the Jazz and you said it depends on what role he's given. Or did I misinterpret that? I thought you said what role? What role?
Wow, Case, I didn't see that coming.
I'm glad people have fun with the show.
Roll.
What role?
What role? Roll.
I'm glad people listen closely enough to make it fun for themselves. I don't know if I always make it fun for everybody. I try. I'm glad people left to their own devices still make the show better.
Well, we were talking about how, speaking of devices, how streaming and podcasting and listening over the radio can all be complementary. Our friend Mike sends this in on the Talk Snap, says, I listen to radio most, but then stream based on where I'm working that day. Totally. Mm-hmm. Make it fit. Take Jake and Ben with you wherever you go. You can do it in the car on the radio or podcasting, or in this case, streaming, depending on where he's at.
Yep.
I want to remind you that Tim and Scotty G are going to be out at the Bar Dub Grill coming up tomorrow. That's in Nephi, just off exit 222. They're going to be on location doing their show from 10 until 2. By the way, Yegor Dioman has 22 points.
He's been great. He looks really good. You know what I'm glad? He's playing.
Yeah,
he's not too good for Summer League.
He needs to play.
You know what? Yegor is not quite figured out how to become prime Magic Johnson yet. So he should still be trying to get better, I think, in my humble opinion. And he is getting better, and that's awesome. That rules for Brooklyn.
You think Yegor's going to be Magic Johnson?
No, but...
That's a high bar.
If he is Magic Johnson, I'll understand why he decided he's too good for Vegas Summer League in year 2. Until then, though, I don't mind him getting out there and playing and improving himself.
Brooklyn probably hopes he shoots a little better than Magic
Not
Johnson.
shooting. Oh, yeah. Well, he shot very well as a rookie.
Kind of. Didn't Locke take some of the shine off that for us? That he had a hot month or whatever that made it look a little bit better than it was? I don't know. Brooklyn's one of those franchises which is going nowhere, too. Horribly run.
Mm-hmm. Yegor today, by the way, right now has 20 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 5 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. Not a great three-point shooting performance, but 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Reminder, you get your 1 free throw counts as 2 attempts.
Oh, yeah, which some people are talking about they're going to put that into the league.
I hope they do.
Oh, you're crazy. Oh, we talked about that where you were gone. Hey, I don't like watching.
I know you love 3.5-hour NBA games.
No. And I brought this up hey, I'm no lover of free throws by any means, but it does feel like you're messing with the integrity of the game with a rule because there is pressure on both free throws. Why should you get? And I get the logic that it evens it out. It evens itself out. It comes out in the wash. But I feel like you're messing with like one of the basics. Like that is much more revolutionary than a pitch clock in baseball.
I am less romantic about the idea that we're probably doing everything right now than the alternate could be. Now, that doesn't mean you should monkey with everything. I don't agree with that. You have to be careful of cats in the wall. I think this is a true cat out of the wall.
I'm not so sure. And it's only, somebody did the math on it. The average would be like 4 or 5 minutes saved. Honestly, getting rid of replay would do the same thing and more.
Yeah, get rid of replay also. I'm all for speeding up the games.
Well, I would prefer they start with replay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll have an action-packed 6 o'clock hour for you. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
As an entrepreneur and dream driver, I know how much heart goes into building a brand. That's why I love seeing small businesses have the opportunity to reach more people. Walmart helps customers discover products from thousands of small brands, each with a founder story built on passion, perseverance, innovation, and purpose. Learn more at walmart.com.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.